and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're already part of the Sprinkle Squad. I'm so happy to see you again. Today we are working on a tiny home. Honestly, I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted it to be tiny. And I thought, you know what? I think a container home would actually be really cute. So I'm actually building in Evergreen Harbor to go with the whole container build thing, since that's actually where we got these swatches for the roof and the siding. And I don't know what it was when I did this. I thought this teal is so pretty. I was like, I have to use it. So we're using that with a lot of white, and I do end up bringing in a little bit of yellow on the inside. And I'm not going to lie, this definitely took some experimenting. There's actually a sim off to the side of this lot that I had to keep bringing in when I was doing some of the play testing for it, especially when it comes to putting the bed in this. So it's basically like a studio, but there actually is a lot of stuff in here, and I tried to include plenty of skill building items as well for your sim. And what I ended up doing was basically walling off the two ends and raising it up one notch, so it's kind of like its own little platform. And of course using the 3x1 tiny home bathroom it's almost necessary at this point using something like that. But I just went with the blue tile, and I think I actually end up swapping some of the tile there in the kitchen. So I figured the kitchen would be over on the right side and then the bed would be over on the left. And I did so much experimenting. I was very back and forth about whether or not I wanted a single or double bed in here. And I really liked the idea of the double bed, and honestly, I just like the way the double bed looked better. So I ended up pulling several different beds out of the catalog and testing it and seeing how I felt about it. And I just felt like the double bed looked better. But of course, this platform that I'm going to end up actually putting the bed on is only 2 tiles wide, which is basically as wide as a double bed. So I definitely had to test that to make sure that your sim could still get in the bed, and they shouldn't have any kind of issues. And on that note, this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you would like to download it under my ID Spice and Sprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. And like I mentioned, it has been play tested, so fingers crossed your game doesn't give you a hard time with it. I feel like when it comes to the tiny homes, and if you really try to pack a bunch of stuff into it, it definitely can have issues just because there's so much stuff and your sim can decide that they just don't want to do whatever the thing is. But I think it ended up looking really cute in here, and I can't remember if I actually ended up swapping out the flooring here as well. I think I just felt like it was very overwhelming with the white floor and the white bed. And I will say I wanted to actually have this up on Monday, but my husband was feeling unwell over the weekend, so I was kind of helping take care of him. And I actually have my mom visiting this week, so honestly I'm just spending a lot of time with her, and so I was just unable to get this uploaded like I wanted to. And I have been spending plenty of time watching some YouTube videos for the new businesses and hobbies pack, and it honestly looks pretty cool. It looks like you can do some really awesome things with it. So I think it was James Turner built a hotel, which I'm sure other YouTubers have done that as well. But I thought that was a really cool idea. I've always thought about building something like that, but it really wasn't functional very much, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll try to do that. If you have any ideas of like businesses that you want to see, let me know, especially because we can do a lot of combinations of things. And I think it'd be really cute. And it looks like the items are really nice as well. But of course, at the time of me doing this voiceover, I haven't gotten my hands on the pack yet, which I believe it comes out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it comes out on the 6th. Like I said, I've kind of been like all over the place just between like having my mom over and everything. So I'm pretty sure it comes out on the 6th. So hopefully that is correct. So I'm looking forward to using that because I think that would be really neat. And I don't think at least the gameplay I've watched, I don't think there have been like a ton of glitches, but let me know too, like how are you feeling about the pack now that a lot of the early content has been put out. I'm curious to know what you feel about it. And like I said, definitely let me know if there's certain builds that you want to see, because I definitely have some ideas. I also just have a bunch of builds that I'm working on, so we'll see what order things come out in. I know I keep mentioning it, I still have a Love Struck build to do, and I am definitely going to have to do a build for the new pack as well. But for this build, I end up actually putting in a 3-seated table actually in here, and if I used regular chairs, it didn't fit super well. It was like clipping into the walls and everything, but with the stools, it worked really well. So your sim can actually have a lot of people over, and this is actually a full-size kitchen, as well as having that little desk area over in the corner. I just feel like having computers in builds is really important because a lot of times Sims need them to do basic tasks, even just to like order things. There's things I think you can order on the computer that you can't order on your phone. And I know that you can go to a library or some community lots to do that, but sometimes it's just easier to have it on your own home lot, especially if I used to have issues with loading that my computer, it would take forever to load lots, so it was really obnoxious to have to swap between lots. So I like having those kinds of items, you know, on your home lot if you can have them, but just kind of scooting that over. And again, your sim can definitely get to that and use that and all of that kind of good stuff. And I do actually end up putting a grill out front as well. And I think it was an easel, a yoga mat. I put some gardening stuff too, so there's plenty for your sim to do here. And I was so excited that I was also able to use that floral wallpaper that we got. I believe that was with Love Struck, because it is so pretty. I love the wallpaper, but it is a harder wallpaper to use. I feel like it's like the one that came with, was it Paranormal? No, it wasn't Paranormal. Decor to the Max, I think, is that other floral wallpaper that I'm thinking of, is also one that I love, but I have a harder time using it. And I did include an alarm. I'm going to try to remember to put alarms in all of my builds, so if you do download it, hopefully you don't have an issue with burglars. But of course, you can add one if I forget or don't place it, or if I'm doing a budget build, who knows, maybe it doesn't get placed at some point. Or if you just feel like taking it out, you can do that as well, because I do know there's a new lot trait that you can use that makes it more likely that you have a burglar come by. And I feel like it's going to take me a minute to remember that that's a thing. And I will mention, in case you haven't used these eco lifestyle sliding doors, or in case you didn't know, your sim only uses half of the door. So the sim actually comes in on the other side of the couch. So the couch and everything, the living area, doesn't block their path or anything like that. They don't have any issues. Similar to some of those inset closets that you can use, that you can like put inside the wall. You can actually block one of the doors. I can never remember which one it is that your sim needs to use, whether it's the left or right, but I did test it. Your sim can get around in here. And again, it's the same thing. I had to remind myself which door the sim actually ends up using when they come inside the house. So your sim can route around everything really well. And of course, using the tiny living stereo TV combination, I was trying to use the Growing Together bookcase because I really love it. I thought it looked really cute in here, but it honestly just took up a lot of space, and trying to fit a mirror along with a TV, it just kind of didn't work out super well. And I do like the way this console table kind of ended up behind this bed. It almost fits together almost like a headboard, and I figured having that clothes storage up there makes a whole lot of sense, just because I feel like in a tiny home you kind of have to use storage where you can find it. And then in the bathroom, again, using that 3-tile bathroom so that your sims can do everything they need to do in the smallest amount of space possible. I do know that you can do a 1-tile bathroom. It is possible, and I have done it before. It was actually a face cam video, and I think it was like a 3x3 home I built. Like, it was super tiny. I ended up using a single tile bathroom. So that is possible, but I tend not to use those because honestly, I feel like they can have some issues, as well as they're just not that pretty. Having everything kind of squished together, so I try not to use those. But if I ever do anything that's that small, then, you know, you kind of almost have to do that if you want a full bathroom there. And then I ended up using just like another platform here to almost give a patio for your sim, and I thought it ended up looking really cute. I ended up putting the grill there along with a table. I also put a flower arranging table out there as well, again just trying to get as much skill building in here as I can. I do end up putting some of the counters that we have in the kitchen, I put those here as well with the grill, and I tried to combine the objects so it kind of just looked like the grill. It was like one of those countertop grills, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's what it's called, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. And it didn't work. The sim didn't like it, so I did have to scoot the I was going to say the stove, the grill forward a little bit. So in the screenshots, it looks a little bit different, but basically the same. But I thought I'd go ahead and let you know. So again, what is on the gallery is functional and your Sims shouldn't have any issues. I do think it would be a really cool item to have, though, is to have almost like a countertop grill. I think that would be a really fun thing to have, although I don't know if we would ever get something like that, but it would be maybe something that would come like in a kit. Maybe we could get some sort of like outdoor patio kind of kit. I think that would be kind of fun. I do know that we have a few stuff packs that have to do with that. It's, what is it, the romantic garden, I think, and there's like the patio stuff, but I don't know. The romantic garden came with a lot of beautiful flowers that I do like to use. I think I do use some of them in some of this landscaping, but I wish we had, maybe it's because I want more updated outdoor items, if that makes sense, since I feel like we got a lot of these items earlier on in The Sims 4. I was going to say lifespan, that sounds really weird, but earlier on in the life of The Sims 4. But anyways, just adding some more landscaping in here, and back over by that tree is where I actually end up putting a couple of planting boxes, as well as I think just some clutter to go along with that. I think I also include a bee box out there, since I think that was something we got with Eco Lifestyle. And at the end, I do end up adding one of those water collectors as well out behind the container home. Again, since it is an Evergreen harbor and it is kind of that container home eco lifestyle feel, I figured that would be a good item to add in here. And then of course adding in that really adorable bike, although I do think that bike was part of the early ordering, I think maybe for cottage living, which again is a little bit unfortunate. I love getting other like new items, but it kind of stinks if you can't get the pack when it comes out, like, which I feel like a lot of people can't, and then you don't have access to those items. But I opted to use that just because I really like the flowers on it. But there is also an eco lifestyle bike that you can of course use, and I guess I could have used a dumpster on this slot and put it behind there. That would also be good if you want to play this with some dumpster diving, which I actually, in my own gameplay, I've been doing that with the sim. I have her doing a lot of dumpster diving and doing fabrication and things like that. I figured I'd revisit this pack since it's not a pack I've played with kind of anytime recently, but just adding in a little yoga area over here. I thought that would be super adorable. Again, a way for your sim to get another skill in if they would like to. And then adding a little bit of sand over there I thought was really pretty. And of course finishing out with some lovely terrain paint, because I think it honestly brings your build to life, just adding that around there. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye everybody.
I can't believe someone like me is here with